Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is part 2 of our catching up what's been happening here for the last couple of months. Hope you enjoy it.
We have a situation here where we got fir that's outgrowing this white pine. And of course, the fir are undesirable and the white pine is very desirable. In a professionally managed woodlot, somebody would come around with a thinning saw, which is worth $1,000 plus, and go zip, 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 and clean out the fir, and hopefully, if they're good operators, would leave the white pine
Without
behind.
cutting off the pine.
But amateurs, I'm quite convinced I'd never get a true value out of a $1,000 plus saw.
Not at your age.
And when you think about it, we don't have to cut out the competition. In any race, all you have to do is maim your competitor. Right? So with my jackknife, it's now likely, and I'll probably do just a tiny bit more, that the white pine now has an advantage over these fir and will continue to outperform them. That's all we need to do. We don't have to get down and cut their butts or anything. In fact, the competition will ultimately help the white pine grow straighter, taller, and become ultimately a better formed tree by having the shade and competition from the sides. So it's just a matter of rethinking what we have to do. We don't have to cut out. We just have to
slow down.
Right. Hurt, injure, maim.
Break an ankle.
to give the good guys the advantage.
Well, that looks interesting. Is that a work of art?
Yes, it took a lot of gnawing, with my teeth to get it this way, but no, this is a recent discovery. A blow down, obviously, by wind, and this is red spruce that obviously was suffering some butt rot, and so we severed off a log, and well, yeah, because Ralphie was here.
Oh, okay.
And Ralphie did all the heavy work. We actually got him skidded out to the roadside. Just to salvage a bit of value out of this. Left a lot of the top. And the thing which always amazes me is that it's always a little hard to judge once they're actually down on the ground. But I would almost swear if I'd looked at that tree the day before it blew over, that it looked perfectly healthy. Nice big crown, and yet you get this insidious rot going on inside them. And I would say half of our blow-over red spruce, probably half of them are due to butt rot, and half of them are actually uprooting the tree.
Just hauling them out, yeah.
And doing it that way.
Because we did have some pretty good windstorms. Not
Yeah,
so much, there were some in the winter, but this spring we had a couple of quite vicious windstorms.
Yeah, but this was just very recently. At least I think, because I would have thought I would have recognized them.
You would have noticed them if you'd seen them earlier.
Anyhow, yeah, so salvaging some value.
So how long is he?
Good question.
My brother's been doing some work on using the sawmill because he's cutting some wood. He's working on building a garage, so this might end up as part of his garage.
Just over 12 feet.
Just over 12 feet.
Yep.
So just to give you a sense of the wood, this is, according to Michael, all stuff that he has brought out this winter. There's a rank there behind Ralph.
Well, and there is more.
More? You say there's more?
Yes. This is all wood that I brought out this winter, but it's not all of the wood I have brought out this winter.
Okay, right.
This is a little spot that I've been working on this winter, and you can see that I've taken out a couple of birch and some relatively small fir, freeing up some of the cedar. We got a yellow birch right here behind me. I'd freed him up pretty good some time ago. So again, it's just working through making minor adjustments here and there. Presumably the new terminology is ecological forestry, which is very complex, and I don't think I really want to get into it, but basically the idea you create mini disturbances, which this would be classified as a mini disturbance, and that would simulate what Mother Nature would have done by maybe having a larger tree blow over in a windstorm or die of natural causes or whatever.
And we don't have very many of those big old trees to
we
create.
We don't have. If there's a tree, well, the cedar stand, or cedar swamp, those trees there, if our forester's age guess was correct 10 years ago, those trees would now be approximately 100 years old. And I would guess that we probably don't have a tree that's more than 80 years old anywhere else in the property.
Some of those white pine wouldn't be?
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
No. I mean, yeah, they're tall, but they're still probably not much more than 70 foot tall, which, I mean, they can easily grow a foot a year. I mean, you've seen some of the...
Oh, yeah. In good years, they...
And the one thing you know about white pine, for the most part, I think this would be correct. I mean, red spruce is really difficult to age because it can stay suppressed under a canopy, keep alive, but not do significant growing because it needs lots of sunlight to grow really well. So you can have a tree that's, I remember one article, red spruce that was 139 years old, still living under the shade of bigger, taller trees. So you could look at, two red spruce and one big and growing large and another that's significantly smaller, and yet it could be the older tree, just simply because it's never had the same excellent growing conditions. So they're a little harder to age.
By size, yeah.
Yeah, by anything other than count rings. But yep. So we'll take a wander down across the road here to our next site, and I think probably last.
So I see you got more wood piled.
I do.
And I'll just get a better view of up
Oh.
there without you in the way. Oh, did you want to talk about your little sort of semi-crossing thing here?
Well,
What is
maybe.
this?
This is experimental and
Uh-oh.
and not complete because of the road work that's done. The ditches are fairly deep, and to get up into this stand with Ralphie in particular is not as simple as just driving.
No,
Because
I can see that.
the ditch would swallow them up.
And then
So-
you'd be straight up the other side.
So part of the material I was hauling out, I've just been kind of stacking it here, and I will probably sometime go back in and do a little bit more work here. And
You'll have the option of being able to take Ralph in there if you
I'm
wish to.
thinking that I might be able to create a ramp here that Ralphie will be able to just drive right up and zoom.
Well, and I see up back of you there's a few big old trees down, so if you want to haul those out, oh, of course you could do that with the winch, it would reach.
Oh yeah, but they're fir, they're not large, and they're probably
No value.
not after being down. They're not recent downfalls or deadfalls.
Fall
They're-
downs.
They've been there for a while. Okay, so what we have here is a red maple that's leaning, probably at a 60-degree angle to the earth, and partially entwined with a tall fir that is not, I'm quite certain, actually supporting him, but he's definitely in the way. And I'd still like to come back into here and do some more work. And I'm not keen on the idea of that tree hanging possibly over my head while I'm working.
While you're doing that.
And, well, especially you get busy with the chainsaw, and I'm not going to hear that tree
Crack
creaking
and
and
creak.
cracking and giving out noises that it's about to go down. So I normally wouldn't worry about it. I think the idea of, walking past a tree like that and it coming down and hitting you, like the odds are right up there with winning a lotto. It can happen, but the odds are its timing and my timing of being right under it is. But if I'm actually working there, then I could be there for
Yeah, an extended period of time.
many minutes. So he's a possible
He may have to come out.
coming video.
So it's still a bit wet here.
Yeah, well, when I was here with Ralphie, the ground was mostly still frozen.
Because you were doing this before the
Yes.
frost went out, basically.
Yeah, and really once it started to get wet like this, I moved on to another area.
Because you got bored.
Well, because I don't want to.
You don't want to get stuck either.
Well, it's not get stuck. I see videos of heavy equipment in woodlots that are going through roads in muck right up to their axles, and I think it's disgusting. And I don't want to be one of those people who just goes
Who's
through this.
tearing up the land.
Right. So basically stop, even though environmentally this is not going anywhere. Like it's not like we're on a slope leading down to a stream or anything like that. At the same time, doesn't make sense to rip and tear up the property.
When you don't need to.
Right. And we definitely don't need to. So anyhow, when this dries out, which is certainly coming along, I'll come back in because I got a load of wood, or at least a half a load of wood down there. There's still a white birch down across in there that I need to
That you want to take out.
harvest. Well, he's down, so I need to, yes, get the proceeds of
Of what you've done.
the firewood, yes, out. And then I'd like to go back in and work a little bit more. There's more I know, there's more white birch in
Down
there
in behind there still.
that's competing with other better trees like red maple and yellow birch, and so get them out. And you can probably see down here one or two white birch, certainly one. He's not competing with anyone. He's standing.
So you're
right?
leaving him alone.
There's no benefit in simply cutting him down because he's a white birch. He's not causing a problem. So,
Oh yeah, I forgot this cool thing on the
oh yes.
on the stump. No idea exactly what it is, other than it's pretty cool growth.
Just so people can get a
sense of the size.
yeah, certainly considerably bigger than my hand span. And the tree was probably harvested many years ago. He certainly got lots of deterioration. Well, thanks for watching, folks. We hope, if my videographer doesn't, come down with any serious injuries or illnesses, that we might be able to
Get back to a regular schedule.
get back on a regular schedule. I'm quite interested, and I think it's important to cover each of at least the major species of the Acadian forest. Background on their historical relationship to the Acadian forest, and where it's at today, and whether it should be restored, reduced in size, and so on. And this would be largely all, a lot of it coming from Jamie Simpson's book, Restoring the Acadian Forest, but also our own personal experiences and
other reading you've done.
other stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, because I think it's really important to get a better perspective on this part of the woodlot management.
Well, and certainly when you first started here at the woodlot and you were just basically doing firewood, one of our probably older or oldest yellow birch turned into firewood instead of a seed source.
Yep. Yeah.
Just from lack of knowledge.
In fact, I meant to, because I was driving by, and of course knew and remembered the stump is still sitting there, and it's the danger of when the ignorant go out and get a new 18-inch chainsaw with an 18-inch bar, and of course,
Ooh, look at that tree!
needs to go looking for an 18-inch tree to cut down, and that's, kind of the stupidity of myself, but I think in a whole lot of our humanity too, is we just do that stuff. It's not right.
Yeah. Fortunately, he wasn't the only yellow birch on the property, so
No, that's true.
anyway, Thanks for watching, folks. We're glad to be back.
Great. Stay safe. Catch you in the next one.